Today, we make fire. All right, what's up, jerks? We got a fun one today, a quick one. It's getting closer and closer to spring here in Canada, which means it's getting closer and closer to camping. One of my favorite things to do, we just bought a trailer last year, or I guess the year before. First time using it was last year. So I'm always looking for ways to improve that experience because though I like camping, also a big fan of creature comforts from the home. That's why I'm in a trailer and not a tent. Sleeping in a tent sucks. It's at least a tent trailer. It's halfway there. But why am I gesturing wildly with a blowtorch? Unlit. Who am I kidding? I gesture wildly with a lit blowtorch. Basically, what I'm going to do is I had a great idea to come up with... there's all these fire starters on the market. Most of them work just fine. But I came up with an idea of a easy one that I can make myself with a lot of stuff that I have already laying around. And that burns a lot longer than some of these because the wood you get from these parks is oftentimes hardwood, which takes longer to ignite. It does burn longer, but it takes you longer to get it going. So you need a fire starter that goes a little bit longer. You can't just chuck a handful of sawdust at the problem. A lot of problems are solved by chucking handfuls of sawdust at it. So this is easily a one beer job, and we'll get to showing you my idea for it. First thing you want to do is rob your local old school McDonald's if they still have these cups. Most restaurants don't anymore, but if they do, swipe a bunch. Or if you're more of a good person, go ahead and just purchase some. But this is going to be what is containing my little fire starters. Each one of these is going to start a campfire. I then also have some of this fire starter brick type stuff. Basically, it's like a little square. So that's going to go inside, kind of in the bottom, and everything else around it is going to get the fire going. This is going to stay burning for an extended period of time. Why am I not just using this? Well, because I used some of these last year, and just on their own, they didn't seem to start a fire very well. So I've also got, they started it, but it wouldn't spread. I've also got some wicks, because what I'm going to do is put the fire starter brick in it, circle the wick around to the top, so you have a nice easy spot to light it. What else is going to be in there? Well, it's going to be a mixture of sawdust and dryer lint, because who doesn't have a bunch of dryer lint laying around, and they're always telling you that dryer lint is super flammable. So yeah, dryer lint is going to be sort of my main combustion engine here, and then I've got some wax that I'm going to melt down and cover the top with, so that you can flip them upside down and it doesn't leak everywhere or spill everywhere, basically making it transportable. So we're going to do that. All right, so here's the production line. I took a bunch of these wicks and cut off a little metal bit because I want to be able to always cook over this stuff. Cut them in half and then fished them under the fire brick, which I forgot to mention. One of the main reasons I broke it all up and did this was this fire brick. It says to actually use like two or three of the bars, which an entire box then is only going to get you at most 10 fires if you follow that. So I don't know how many this is because I haven't counted them, but I'm pretty sure that's more than 10. So that's why I wanted to do it. I'm all about not using up too much, spreading it out to be able to get. You put a little bit of kindling over top of this, there's no way that fire is not going to start. So, got all the wicks in, and now I'm going to start putting in the dryer lint to pack it all down, and then I'm actually going to do a layer of sawdust over top of that, and then put the wax on that. Got lots of sawdust laying around. It's my shop, and I've made all sorts of other projects that have led to sawdust accumulating. That's another reason why, if anybody gets on your case, like your wife or whatever, about cleaning up your workshop, be like, look, I'm just making sawdust so that I can make us fire starters and we can go and have a nice family camping trip. Or do you hate family time? Turn it back on them. Pro tip. All right, so I got all my cups full, and full disclosure, I cut some ABS pipe earlier last week to do something else, and so my sawdust is kind of littered with ABS shavings or mouse poop. They look very similar. Not going to risk it. I want to be able to cook over these fires. I don't want to be roasting mouse turds or ABS plastic into my food. I've heard that's bad for you. So we're just going to go with the dryer lint, which should be plenty. So I am now heating up the barbecue with an old garbage pan that we were going to throw out anyways. I got all my wax chips in there. You could use candles, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. Chances are you're going to want to throw out the pan afterwards, or you can use it in like a metal can, heat it up in a metal can. Just figured this would be easier because we were going to get rid of it anyways. So got that on the grill. So that's going to melt that and we're going to pour it over. So when I said this is a one beer thing, I mean, you could probably crush 2 or 3 in the time that it takes to do this. That's not meaning it takes a long time to do. I mean, there's a little bit standing around. And yeah, so this could go horribly wrong with pouring the wax, but we're going to try. And before you ask, yes, I'm wearing both a back brace and pajama pants with bananas on them. Back brace because I'm old and decrepit, and banana pajamas because they're funny. Screw you. All right, so don't know if you caught that. That might be one of the biggest fails I've ever had. That spilt everywhere. There is wax everywhere. But I think it kind of worked. So these are all hardening up now, basically, and it's just not going to dump out every time you move it anywhere. It's kind of the idea. It's why I wanted a nice layer of sawdust, but as I said, I also didn't want to poison my family. So look at that big old booger trail of wax. Boy, I messed up. Look, if everything went perfect, they'd call me the jack of all trades instead of the jerk of all trades. Just kidding, nobody calls me that. It's just me. That being said, so this is why you do stuff like this on garbage tables and over a cement floor. Because now, once all that hardens, I can just scrape it off. I totally meant to do this. Well, there you go. So they're not all winners. This should still work. But yeah, so make your own fire starters. You can pay a couple of bucks to get some fire block. You don't have to put that in there. Dryer lint and a wick, or just dryer lint in general in cups or sawdust or whatever will probably do the trick pretty well. But I wanted to expand upon it. I have these crazy ideas. So yeah, 1 beer job, 2, 3, depending on how long it takes you to heat up the wax and melt the wax. And maybe another 6 when you have to clean up all the wax that you spilt all over your workshop. So there you go. Nailed it. Just kidding. You didn't think I'd actually not show you one of them burning. Come on.